So around 20 years ago, I was driving around with some of my friends, and we had a police scanner, aka a radio scanner. Back then, the police used to communicate through unsecure radio waves, and everybody was basically able to listen in if you had a radio scanner. And that's what we did. We drove around, listened to the scanner, and hoping to pick up something interesting and just go there and see, what was happening. But we never expected what we would pick up. So we were driving and we get this strange communications with all kinds of agents communicating, and we understood by the conversations that they were tracking someone. So we started immediately heading over to see what was going on. So this happened in Denmark, but it's the same tactic the FBI uses, the KGB uses, and every modern police force or secret service or whatever, they all use this tactic. But today, there would be a little bit more cell phone tracking, maybe some drones, and this could be done with a smaller team. But the basis of it is basically still the same. It's still done the same way. We come driving down this way here, and here we see the first guy. The ones in yellow are the ones we saw. The ones in red are ones we didn't see. Some of them I understood by the communications where they were located, and some of them I'm just guessing where they might have been located. So we drive down here. We see this guy and we continue down here. And then we drive left here. We drive over here and then we turn left again here. And here we see the target. So this is the first point where we see the target here. And he's walking this way here. And what you might notice already is that there is nobody following him. There's nobody walking behind him. So some people, they feel like they're getting gang stalked. The police are behind them and watching them and all these kinds of things. That's just not how it works. So they will never walk behind you. The way they do it is they are actually in front of you. They meet you at different points towards your route where you're walking. They're actually gonna be in front of you, waiting for you to meet them there. So this guy, he continues to walk down this route here. And we continue to follow him. Here we are driving slowly. He's walking and we are driving. So we turn around here. And here we stop for a red light. So the target crosses this intersection here. And then he starts walking down this road here. At this point, we are still standing at the red light, and what we see here really surprises us. So this is where we see the second team here. So there's a woman and a man walking together hand in hand. It looks like a boyfriend and a boyfriend and girlfriend. We then hear them communicate something. I don't remember what it was, but we hear them communicate something. And then these guys here, they start to run over this intersection here. They run over here, but this guy, if he looked back, he would not be able to see them. So they're a little bit left of this building. So he's not, if he turns around, he's not able to see them. But we see them remove their headpiece and let go of each other, and they start running really fast over this intersection. But they don't follow him. Instead, they turn left here and they start running this way over here. And then they place themselves all the way over here. And we just continue to drive this way here. So we see them running all the way over here. We are driving, and they are positioning them. They're running over to this point at full speed. They're running to this point here. And the target, he keeps walking this way. You know, we cannot see him, but you know, we know he's walking this way. And the target keeps walking over here, and here there is this kind of entrance here where you can get in behind these buildings here. So he keeps walking this way here, in here, walking. And here I presume there must have been somebody else here, because we could hear over the radio that, you know, they were still talking about him, which way he was going. So I presume there might be someone here, or he might have been here somewhere observing him, you know. But you don't expect somebody is following you when they are not actually following you. You're walking different routes and there's just people there, you know. So it's pretty much impossible to spot if you're being surveilled, because you are not gonna be looking behind you. They're not gonna be behind you. They're actually gonna be in front of you. So this guy keeps walking this way here. And at this point, we are still driving this way here. And we spot these two guys that are standing over here. And we turn right here. No, and we are driving very slowly. We are stopping, driving. We are doing it very slowly so he can keep up with us. And you know, the target keeps walking over here, and then he goes in this way here. And by that time, we've driven all the way. I think we are probably over here somewhere. And then when we reach here, we turn around and drive very, very slowly back this way. And all of this time we are hearing them communicating where he is, you know, where to move and whatever. So what is happening at this point when he's around here, you know, this guy here, he starts moving also, you know. They instruct him to move this way here, over here. And he moves, you know. We don't see him, but I presume, you know, this was probably where he was ending up getting moved, over here somewhere. And at the same time, other parts of the team, this guy, which I presume was here somewhere, you know, he's at the same time, he's also moving. So he's moving this way and probably positioning himself over here somewhere. And also, you know, this team, you know, a surveillance team like this, it consists of probably around 8 to 10 people on the streets. They have a coordinator who coordinates them around, and there might be a couple of cars involved to move them around if the distance gets bigger and bigger, to take some of the ones that are further away and move them closer by. When this guy, the target, is walking here, you know, all of these teams, they are starting to move more towards over here, for example. So the target keeps walking this way and he turns right here, and here he stops and he meets with some guy and they're talking, they're discussing something. And at this time we are getting closer and closer to the target again. And then I tell my friends, look, we need to warn this guy. So I start, it was my car I was driving, so I start turning the window down, and I tell my friend, warn him. And when we reach him, I slow down the car, and my friend yells, the police are watching you. And when he yells that, the guy starts looking around, you know, but he would not be able to see anything. So he starts looking around, and we hear them talk over the radio. He's looking around. He might have been warned or something. He might have realized what's going on or something like that. They're communicating wildly over the radio. And then we hear, he's running. So the target turns around, and he runs this way back again, and he starts running somewhere. I don't know where he was running, but he starts running at some direction, and I hear them all scramble to try to catch up with him. But also these kinds of operations, they don't want to be seen, so they would prefer to lose the subject rather than getting seen. So he starts running, and then we hear over the radio, we've lost him. So what we then do, we turn around the car again somewhere here, and then we start driving. And when we reach all the way over here, we are still hearing them communicate. I don't remember what they were communicating. When we reach all the way over here, we see a guy, a worker, a construction worker, but he had suspiciously clean clothes, so we are looking at him, and then we see him, he does like this, and he takes down the headset. He had a earpiece. He takes down the earpiece, and then he turns around and looks at us, and we are all looking at him, and then he smiles at us, and then we smile back at him. But he didn't realize, I'm pretty sure he didn't realize, what we were doing. So we just keep driving, and that's it, But, I just wanted to show this because it's pretty fascinating. A lot of people think that physical police or FBI or KGB surveillance, it works by, people in strange hats and glasses are following you. Not at all. They're never going to follow you. They're always going to be in front of you, expecting where you're going to go. So, for example, if the target, instead of turning right here, if he had turned left here, then, this guy, we had moved him, but originally he was here somewhere. So if this guy had turned left, instead of turning right here, then this guy here would have started moving this way, probably up here, and positioning himself somewhere here if he could reach it, or or maybe even further up here. And at the same time, all of these would start running this way, or maybe there would be a car to pick some of these guys up and position them, different places here along the route. So they would always be in front of him. They would never walk behind him. So all of these people that think they're getting gang stalked or followed by police or whatever, if you see some things that, make you feel like people are following you, then it's definitely not happening. You're not gonna notice it. It's done in a very, very undetectable way, and they're gonna do everything for you not to notice them, even though they're in front of you. They're still not gonna let you see them. They're gonna be standing on the other side of the street, looking at some window on some shop and observing you through the reflection in the window or something. If you actually see one of them, then they're gonna get pulled out, or they're gonna, observe you from a farther distance. They're not gonna let you see them 2 times. And, car surveillance, if they surveil you with cars, it also works in a similar way. There, they might follow you at some point, but if a car follows you and it turns away from you at some point, that car is not gonna follow you again. It's gonna be pulled out, or it's gonna have a position that is farther away, so you won't see it again. they're gonna be very aware if they have been seen, in a way that they can get recognized. So they're simply not gonna turn up again. So people that think that they can recognize if they're being surveilled by the police, it's not true. You will not be able to recognize it. It's done in such a way, but for you to be surveilled like this, it has to be something very big. This takes a lot of people to complete, so it's a lot of resources. They're not just gonna be wasting it on some random dude for some, something that doesn't really matter. So that's just what I wanted to show you. I find it pretty fascinating, this thing, and I just wanted to tell this story so that this isn't information that gets lost. It's interesting information, and I think that people might find this interesting. So if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, you can also hit the like button. I'll see you guys soon.